Of course, the feed dropped in the middle, but it came back up. It's back up now, right? Everything back up? Back there, Daniel? Yeah, okay. Sorry about that. That's why we do a first tune to warm up. It's not just for the horns. It's like, to do these things, there's literally a million things. Like, the last thing I do before coming in here is clean the toilet. So if it's not clean, that's why you know we haven't started. That's pretty much it, you know. We got a few great musicians here in the back, so it's great to see Todd Austin back there, our good friend Carl, who's been here at the start. Man, it's all great all around. We're gonna play. Well, first let's talk about. This is Black History Month, right? So it's very important to know for jazz, it's actually Black History Year, or if you want, Black History Millennium, because jazz is a black music. It's all its creators and innovators are black. Every now and then you find something that's not quite black, but it's usually influenced by black, like white players who want to be black. That's how that works. I mean, even if they don't own up to it, that's what it is. Or even if they create some kind of confusion, like in the early days of jazz when people said, we invented jazz. Oh, that's a fact, yes. That's what we deal with all the way along. So anyway, Black History Month, black music. We've been playing all of the greatest black composers, but they're all the greatest composers in jazz. So I like to think of this as we are in the black American millennium of music. For 120 years now, that's what we are. If you look at the history of music, Western music, last 120 years, if you took that out, it'd be some very corny, weird, aggressive music. So, since the early 1900s, now we're in the black millennium, but we gotta celebrate Black History Month. I think the reality is Black History Month is actually for white people, not for black people. So I don't want to hear any people saying, well, what about the great white jazz hopes? Because that's like saying, well, what about White History Month? Doesn't really work. Okay, enough of that. So now I'm going to one of our great composers who we played really from the start. I decided we were going to play a lot of tunes because you don't want to hear Green Dolphin Street every week like Miles Davis. It's a different crowd, different everything else. So we're going to play lots of tunes every week. And one of the first guys I went to, once we had got the band rehearsing up, was my great, great friend and huge inspiration, but also probably one of the greatest alto saxophone players in the history of the music. His name is Charles McPherson. So we're going to play one of his tunes, Charles McPherson. We played it a couple of times really early on, and I think we played it once when we came inside after being out the backyard. This is called Primal Urge. One, two, 1, 2, 3. All right, Primal Urge. I couldn't find it because I used to show it. I used to show his LP, the LP, so old school. LP, he brought out a great record and it came out right in the middle of COVID. It was called Jazz Dance Suites. Absolutely fantastic record. There's a couple of tunes that are reminiscent of that style of writing in it, but it was written around some suites that he was writing for the San Diego Ballet for his daughter, who is the head ballerina at San Diego Ballet. And they just performed some last weekend, live, finally, after all this time. So buy that record. It was Jazz Record, Jazz Man of the Year. We worked it out, a grassroots effort to get him voted for the great stuff. The great Charles McPherson. Brings me to my next little thing. This was another, I used to do advertisements for everybody. So this was the next one. This is called Jazz Dialogues by a wonderful, another alto saxophone player. His name is John Gordon. Check him out, because he just brought out a record a couple of weeks ago too. Fantastic player. But he put this record, this book together called Jazz Dialogues. It's musician to musician interviews. In fact, one is there with him talking to Charles McPherson, but he's an insider on the musician side, so he was able to get one-on-one about the real stuff. And I've got to say that's very important, because when I was young and coming over here, there was a book called Notes and Tones by Arthur Taylor. And it was a very stark reality of what a jazz musician was going through. And that, along with blindfold tests by great musicians, taught me all about it. So when I came over here and dealt with the college scene, I knew it was a whole bunch of guff, because the musicians were really talking the talk, and the colleges weren't walking the walk. You know, there's over a generation of educators now who really don't play. Terrible. Really terrible. So, Black History Month, people. Remember. So we're going to actually, again, in keeping with what we do, this is a tune by Duke Pearson. It's a musician's tune. Everybody talks about the tough tunes, and they say, well, you got to play Cherokee. Well, that's okay. Or you got to play giant steps. Well, that's okay too. You practice them and wiggle your fingers and get through them. This is a tough tune. Hope you enjoy it. Duke Pearson, Is That So? Is that so? No, that wasn't. All right, we're going to play a ballad because we're going to do 2 sets today. We have a couple of real masters up the back there. We have Philly Joe Linguini, otherwise known as Vince Ladiano, and Mr. Cowbop himself.
Oh, sure?
Bruce Foreman.
Oh.
In the house. We're having a lot of fun here today, so cast of thousands. That's what they say. We're going to play a ballad, a short ballad, just to break it up, because we're going to do a couple of sets. So this is called Easy Livin', and it's another tune we haven't played since probably day one, long way back.
All right. You know intro, man? No. Okay, right on.
Straight? Well, that would be straight. Yeah. One, 2, 3. There, yeah, a little bit of histrionics there. Matt Clark. Jeff Saxton. Sylvia Cuenca. We're gonna play one more and take a break because the Super Bowl is on. One thing I learned: if you're gonna teach people in colleges over here, like jazz, you need to know your sports analogies and metaphors. You know, like if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. It's a good one. Make sure we get the competition in jazz. That's really important. Never. Anyway, the first thing I realized after I studied a bit of American sports, because we play footy in Australia, but it's totally different. Like, we have 3 different codes of footy, and there's nothing like this stuff over here. So, I was at a Big Ten school, which had a good team. Not a great team, but had a great marching band. Killing marching band, poor team at the time. Every now and then they win though now. But it got me, like, I could watch on the side. Every now and then there'd be this scrumming things and these people would come flying at you. The good thing about it was though, there was lots of breaks. I mean, seemed like I only played about 5 minutes the whole day. But there's scrum over here and talking and all this stuff. Anyway, I think all I wanted to say is that, like, of all the sports in America, football is the worst for jazz. As an analogy, it's pathetic. There's not one good thing you can say about it. But unless you were Paul Whiteman or something like that, I can see where that would work. We're going to start the awkward dance band again. Maybe we can talk about how a football team works. Other than that, not really happening. Now I want to get these wonderful musicians back up. Modesto Briseno and Bob Kenmotsu. We're going to play one more tune, take a little break. We're coming back with another set, and we have a lot of guests here. So we're going to set some stuff up and have some fun. We're going to play what do you want to play? Wabash? All right, we'll play Wabash. This is a Cannonball Adderley tune, written for an album with him that Miles didn't show up on. Miles was supposed to do an album in Chicago. He blew it off. So Cannonball and Coltrane had a ball and played some of their tunes. This is one of them. This is called Wabash. Good? Good tempo? You want to do an introduction or what? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, we're going to take a break. Matt Clark on the piano, Jeff Saxton, Sylvia Cuenca, Modesto Briseno, Bob Kenmotsu, yours truly, Andrew Speight. House of Bob. We'll be back in about 35 to 40 minutes. Lots of people here going to play. Lots of fun. Have a drink. Who won? There is a good sports analogy. I thought about it. For jazz. Only the good die young.
The only thing I know, Andrew, it doesn't matter who wins. It matters that Rams lose.